Everybody, look, here's episode 2 of Hustlers Horizon podcast. And today we have a good friend of ours, Steven Rosas. How are you doing today?
Good. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
I know you stay super busy, so I want to say first off, thank you for giving us some of your time today. We're excited to have you.
For sure.
Yeah, man, we appreciate you. I know we've been talking about it for a little while, so
yeah, I'm excited for y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Man, it's already been exciting. Our first episode just dropped today, and it's doing really well. I can only imagine how this episode's going to do. You have such a good following, but what I want to give you props on, from what I've seen, is how involved you stay in the community. You're really good at what you do, but the connections and relationships you build, I admire it. It's really awesome. But I want you to talk to us. Tell us your story. Where are you from? Some background on you.
Okay, all right. Well, born and raised here in Amarillo. Went to Margaret Wills Elementary all the way up through there. Actually went to Boys Ranch for my junior and senior year. Just different things at the house. Some challenges with my stepdad, everything like that. Ended up deciding to go to Boys Ranch myself at 15. Was kind of told my parents that's where I want to be. Went there, and enjoyed my time there. I'm grateful for that. It kind of shaped me into who I am today. And then, I've been here in Amarillo my entire life. I've served some time in the Army. I ran for city council in 2019.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty cool. And so, so I've been here all my life, and I love the people here, and that's one of my favorite parts of the job is getting to know people.
That's good, man. How long were you in the Army for?
Just at 2 years.
2 years.
I was in there. I was injured in some training. Was never able to get back to physical training standard within the time they wanted to give me, and so they gave me the option to get honorably discharged. And so I was honorably discharged. In 2009, and never looked back. I loved it. Again, a time in my life that I appreciated and learned a lot. I actually did basic training twice.
Nice.
And so just I learned a lot. I'm as a veteran, I get a lot of benefits through the VA, and so I'm grateful for that. And met a lot of soldiers that I've been able to see their life change, but also be able to help them as somebody, kind of on the inside, but also on the outside.
Yeah. That's awesome. I mean, and that's just a prime example of, not letting things define you, and you've overcome so much, and that's just awesome. I mean, and of course, thank you for your service on that. That's just really awesome to hear. And like you said, it helped shape you into who you are today, right? It shaped you. And so now let's talk about, now you've been doing real estate. How long have you been in that industry?
This will be my 4th year. November 31st will be the end of my 4th year. Yep.
Perfect.
So, yeah.
And then, because I know you a little bit, so you were doing residential, right?
Yes. Yeah. I started in residential, but going into real estate, my dream was always to be in investments and commercial real estate. My background, I started a small moving business back in 2012 after a couple years out of the Army, and got to know a lot of business folks that way and have a lot of entrepreneur friends. And so it felt like the right move to kind of go start into real estate, get my feet wet into residential, which, 2020, 2021, 2022 were crazy years, and it's kind of like a baptism in fire. And then in 2023, the first 2023, I decided to kind of focus on that commercial aspect. And
that's cool, man.
Yeah, you've been rocking it.
Yeah, your moving company, like you started it from the ground up.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. What was the hardest part?
Well, okay, so when I started that, I was in Dallas. I had a buddy. Okay, let's start with that. I had a buddy from high school. We kind of started talking again, and just as we were good friends in high school, and so and he was living in Grapevine, and back then I was doing 5Ks, and he's like, come do this 5K in Grapevine. I've got some business ideas that I want to run by you, and maybe we can work it out. Well, we started out, and the idea was they were going to have a business in Dallas, a moving business, and he was going to run all of that, and run the Amarillo one, and I was just going to run operations.
Nice.
That quickly turned into like, hey, where's my money, buddy? Type thing. And so, so one of the hardest parts of, I feel like starting and continuing a business are those mistakes you learn along the way.
For sure.
Unfortunately, you learn trust lessons.
Most definitely.
Through those first months, and then again after that, it was not easygoing, but breaking that partnership. Of course, he was in Dallas. There was no real. We were young guys. We didn't have any real contracts in place or anything like that.
Yeah,
so
y'all just went for it.
Yeah, and so I just started doing what I was doing, and I don't know if you know a little bit of my marketing, Facebook marketing. That's kind of where I started it from. Was
Facebook's so big.
Yeah, and marketing moving. It's kind of hard because you got to explain to people, what the deal is, especially in this area. Service oriented businesses don't generally, there wasn't as many at that time in Amarillo, and so started with just a little white square that said moving for however much money and who it was and how to reach me, and kind of grew from there, and that's
Cool.
That's good. So, you talk about, starting those businesses, you're going to have your ups and downs, and, everything that from that, it not only as a business owner, but just as a person, it shapes you, right?
Yeah.
But and you mentioned earlier though, having entrepreneur friends, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like that right there in itself is boom. It's it just elevates you, because you're talking to people who are going to let you know, hey, I've been there, stick with it. Mm-hmm. Here's how I moved. Here's what you can try, right?
Yeah.
And just always just taking those notes and taking advice from people who've done it, because people don't see the back end of things, right? They see Facebook, they see you're doing good, they see you've built this successful business, but they don't see the stress, they don't see the lose that the sleep that you lose.
Yeah.
They don't see those hard times where you're just like, man, I want to give up, but you keep pushing, and to be able to see it though, to prosper and to flourish, it's just awesome, and that's why it's very important, and that's why we brought you on here, because I known you and I've seen the involvement you have in the community, but it struck something. I was like, I want to hear his story, and that's what Hustlers Horizon is all about. Everybody has a story, and they don't. This is stuff that people probably have never known about you, that they're going to hear on this episode, and we're honored to hear that. So I want to talk to you now. So you've been in real estate for 4 years now.
Yeah.
So what is the next step for you? What is your vision to come for the next 10 years or so?
Okay, well, I'm constantly growth minded. I conquer one phase, and then I'm always looking towards that next one. And so I told my wife the other day, I said, we're getting to my 5 years, which means that after 5 years I can apply for my broker's license and take my broker's license course. And so I was like, you remember when I got my license, and I was telling you even then, I was like, here in 5 years I'm gonna be a broker.
Yeah. And now it's almost there.
I said, here it's coming. And so, really that's what I'm looking for. I know, you said 5-10 years, but right now I'm looking towards that brokership.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, getting there, that means that I'm able to coach other realtors, to help others kind of have a little bit of foundation themselves from that point. And so, I mean, that'll be the 5-year plan. After that is growing a team and being able to train others.
That's pretty cool.
That answer does not surprise me at all.
Yeah.
Because that's awesome, because you could have been thinking, the next 10 years you're living in the moment, which is very important as a business owner. Live in the moment. But the most important thing, like I said, doesn't surprise me, is you're thinking of others. How can I help build them up? How can I help them grow? How can I help build that foundation for them? And that's why you've been successful, and you're going to continue to be successful. So
yeah, givers gain, man. Like you're part of what? You're part of the community. What are all you involved in?
Okay, so the major ones that I'm mostly my major group is my family. You know, of course, like, you know, I always tell people that, like, my team is my family, but, you know, I like, again, like you said, to be in the community, and that's both in serving and in business. And to serve, when I was in my second year of real estate, I was thinking, you know, how can I, again, always like try, if I want to do something, I want to do it all the way. I want to involve others. And so I got involved with somebody, his name's Jerry, and he was starting. He wanted to start a Lions Club in Amarillo, another one, you know. And there's Lions Clubs in Amarillo. You got downtown, you've got Tascosa and stuff like that. And there hadn't been a new one in a long time. And so somebody was getting a hold of me, and they're like, "Hey, talk to this guy. He wants to start a Lions Club, and, you know, I don't want to get involved, but I think it would be perfect for you." So, you know, I got in touch with them, and we ended up starting the El Barrio Lions Club.
Barrio Lions Club?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And, you know, we serve the east side and El Barrio, which you have from 3rd to, what is it? 3rd to 34th, I believe. Yeah. And then,
they started
Arthur to Grand.
They started putting up signs, right?
Yeah.
I think I've seen. Have you seen those? Mm-hmm. It has like El Barrio or whatever.
Yeah, and I've known you were involved in that. I actually had you. I think we're at Benji's ball that he had a little banquet ball a couple years ago, and you spoke there, and it's just awesome what you guys are doing and investing into the El Barrio. It's awesome that just to give back to your community, right? You guys are always thinking of everyone else too. But you're thinking of, this is where I grew up from. This is where I grew up. This is who made me who I am. This is where I went through the struggles, the ups and downs. And to see you guys, from, you know, my brother-in-law Benji, his clothing line, he's always thinking of, you know, it's the movement, the East Side, and that's what he does. That's his drive every time, and he's always reminiscing and driving through those neighborhoods and thinking about that. And I see that in all of you guys. So to see that though, but to see you guys now and being very successful and business oriented, and y'all are entrepreneurs. Yeah. You're pushing your business, but the root of that, it comes from there. I feel like it comes from that. This is who made me who I am. This is where I grew up. These are the people that I will forever give back to. So I want you to talk a little bit more about that, though. Like, what do you guys got going on, or how has that been going?
Well, we started in 2021 December. That first year we hit the ground running. We decided we were going to do a Cinco de Mayo celebration where we were going to feed everybody in the community for free hot dogs and burgers. Nice. And so that first year, well, we couldn't get at Alamo Park, and so we were in Southeast Park, and we had that, and we served, I think we served almost 300 burgers that year, and that was our first year, and we had all kinds of vendors and Amarillo animal welfare was there, public health, like just different stuff like that coming to support us, you know, on our first year, which was huge. That second year, well, and then of course we got some folks that were like, "Hey, bring it to the barrio, you know, it's El Alamo is the center, you know." And so that next year, one of our members, James, he like on January 3rd went and scheduled that. And so we've had that every year. We're planning that this year. You know, we try to plan service meetings every 2 weeks. You know, a lot of clubs you'll see meet every week, but they're usually at a restaurant or something like that, and they're meeting. Yeah. I at the very beginning wanted to make, of course, the motto is "We serve." Mm-hmm. And so I wanted to make that a huge part of what we were doing. Like if we were going to meet every week, we needed to at least do half of those meetings in service. And so we've started with Snack Pack for Kids. Mm-hmm. We've been at High Plains Food Bank. You know, we've done different projects like that. We've also been with Texas Ramp Project, which we started.
Oh, I've seen that. That's pretty cool. Y'all just go over there and build ramps for disabled people? Yeah,
disabled folks.
And y'all are doing that, right?
Yeah, we're doing that. There's lots of Texas Ramp Project is their own organization. Mm-hmm. And so, you'll find a lot of Lions that
help with it.
that help. We try to fill the gaps because everywhere always needs volunteers.
Yeah.
And so as a group, if we can go as a group and serve in these different capacities, that just helps these.
That's what I was going to ask. So y'all are always taking people in, right? To help and
yeah. And we, Lions, the Lions International. If you are serving, with Lions, even if you're not a member, you are covered by their insurance.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so the main goal of Lions clubs is to bring people together in service.
Sure.
And so so that's what we've done. We were recruited by the big guys in Texas because we're gonna have the Texas convention this year, and it's gonna be like between 100 and 300 Lions that come to Amarillo because we're hosting it this year. And so we were recruited to come up with the service project for the Texas convention as Amarillo Lions Club, and that's because we are one of the most service oriented groups in Amarillo.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I mean, serving does something to your heart, doesn't it? Yeah. And I was talking with Pedro because Pedro, he's the one who got me involved with it. Is no boundaries, and that's something he would do. He does. Here lately, it's been hectic with work and everything, but that was his priority every Thursday, right? And then one day he's like, "Man, come check it out with me." And just that one time, it was like, just to be involved in the community and just to serve, and it opens your eyes, man. It opens your eyes to so much that when we think we have it bad, somebody has it worse, right?
It's crazy. The things you see, man.
Yeah. And it's just but there's so much we can do in this community, and to see what you guys are doing is awesome, and it makes me want to be like, let's start getting involved. What can we do to help, right? Yeah. And so I'm glad that you mentioned that. I want people to know your story, know your heart, and know the things you're involved in, right? Number one, we want to market your business, right? So if somebody needs a house or mansion or a commercial building, hit you up. But most importantly, I want people to know your story and know your heart. Right? And because you have to have good intention, you have to have a good heart behind anything you do, and that's what's going to make you successful. So now I want to transition a little bit, and unless you have something else to ask them really quick. So I want to transition. So we've asked you about work and everything. Let's get to know what are some of your favorite hobbies, things you like to do for fun.
Okay. All right. Well, it's funny when I started real estate, I feel like a lot of my life started. I started changing. My brain just started changing around the way I want to do stuff. Of course, Keller Williams helped out a lot with that. We've got a great culture and a great mindset perspective.
Yeah, most definitely.
One of my favorite quotes is behind every breakdown is a breakthrough. That's something I learned from there. And so anyways, I've been through there, and as I was going through that, I learned a lot of lessons, and just recently I was like, man, what do I like? I think I was working too, and I was like, man, I was feeling angry too, and I was like, do I have any hobbies? Like, am I
thinking about it?
Yeah, am I boring? You know what I mean? And so, which is funny, and it just happened. The universe will show you where you're lacking. And it was funny. It wasn't funny. My grandmother passed not this last November, but the November before that. And that was a real hard time for a lot of my family, and me and my uncle, we had just lost one of my uncles. And so we lost both of them at the same time. So my last living uncle on this side, was we were both in a hurt spot, and he's always been a fisher and a hunter and everything like that. And it was like the right time where we linked up and started going out to the lease, the hunting lease, and going and hunting, because I've always wanted to do that. I had stacked up stuff that I wanted to take hunting and stuff like that. It had just never gone. And so we ended up doing that, and man, I love it. It's a lot of fun, cause like I said, it was the November before last, so I still hadn't bagged anything. The thing is it's fun to sit out there and in the quiet, enjoy nature, even the cool air sometimes, like it's too cold, and like I'll just sit out there and zone out, and I'm like, it feels you can feel like your ancestors used to sit there next to you, and so that
You like to go golf, no?
Yeah.
I hear you talking about it.
We started with that, and then we went fishing. Now I'm invited to the guys fishing trip. We go to Lake Texoma, and my cousin-in-law, my uncle's son-in-law, he's a golfer, and again, one of those things I've always wanted to golf. And so it like I said, these connections, you'll see the relationships are so important when it comes to being able to do stuff like that. But then I was just asking him, like, hey, can I go out with you sometime? Because I've always gone to the driving range, but I'm just swinging like, however I think I'm just practicing.
That's what I do.
A crappy swing.
He's pretty good.
Yeah.
I live on the course in the summertime. In the summertime, I get so tan.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
See,
man.
my friends want the same thing, but they get sunburned.
Yeah.
No, I'm fine. Yeah.
It's like, but just going out in the summer or just any time, find those things, those hobbies, because like you said, it's like you sit there, you enjoy nature, you take it all in, right? And with golf, that's like, it's therapy, but sometimes it makes me mad because I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
Like it's like you can either love or hate it.
That's one thing that I've learned to like about it is it. Again, and I'll talk about chess too, because that's another one that I've come to. But golf, really for me is something that I can do, and I enjoy it, and even when it's frustrating, I know that I'm frustrated because of me. You know what I mean? And I like the idea that I'm like, okay, it's not something that I can't control.
Yeah.
The more I practice, the more I try to do this, the better I'm gonna get.
Yeah.
And so that's what people. Oh man,
That's that challenge.
Yeah, I wish I remembered the quote, but there was something that was. It says something about when you ask a question, you look foolish for a moment. If you don't ask a question, you're foolish for a lifetime.
Yeah. Most definitely.
And so I don't mind being a beginner. I've told people like I know I suck right now, and like we're your game is taking forever because we're going and looking for my ball on either side of the fairway, but it's one of those like meditational.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. It's crazy when you shift the mindset, how you take lessons from everything, right? And I think one of my favorite little stories about golf is I played in high school, and my golf coach, Coach Scales, I remember I was like a hothead. I just wanted to be good. I wanted to be the best, and I would get so frustrated. One day he'd pull me to the side, and he's like, he got on to me, and he's like, you got to live in the moment, right? And I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, the reason you keep hitting these bad shots is because you hit a bad shot, and you walk up to your next shot mad still. You're pissed.
Your emotions.
And you hit another bad shot. He goes, I took that as a lesson in life, right? Today, whatever happened today, it happened today, but tomorrow's going to be better. And I treat it like that, because you hit a bad shot, you know what? This next one's going to be better. And I treat my days like that. Today may have been a terrible day. It might be a bad day, but tomorrow's going to be better. And that's a mindset you have to have, right? Yeah. But live in the moment. Yeah. Take it, every single moment right there. Just learn what you can from there and just grow. Yeah. So I think it's crazy. It's awesome to have that mindset and finding joy in everything, right? Yeah. There's a lesson in everything if you really look at it that way.
Yeah, it has to be that way, man. If you're gonna be successful, I mean, and I'm talking about, I'm sure there's lots of folks running around that are just like just negative all the time, and they still got more money than they can handle, right? And good for them, but it's a lot. Like I said, this last 4 years, I learned a lot those first 2 years that I was in real estate. You have so much freedom. It kind of it can shackle you. The freedom can shackle you down, and you're a prisoner of your own like angry thoughts. And so that's what I tell a lot of people that I don't know if y'all know Alice Sanchez. She's with like Homeward Northwest.
I'm not sure.
Anyways, but she walked up the other day. We were at an after hours, and I was talking to somebody. She's like, "You need to follow him on Facebook." Excuse me. He's like, you need to follow him on Facebook. He's always posting the most positive stuff, and it's not even just like posting positive things. He's so grateful for like the little things that he shares with his kids and stuff like that. And, it really, I told her, I said, that came from a dark place. That came from a place of being, of constantly not feeling like like I had enough.
Yeah.
And so.
Do you ever, kind of shifting a little bit,
No, you're good.
do you ever have anybody that tells you, hey, slow down?
No.
Your wife or anything? She doesn't think you're doing too much sometimes?
No.
She's...
I mean, like we've gone through some of those things too. Like, I feel like maybe she gets it more than I do. I think as a guy, like, people are always like, yeah, you better be at work.
Yeah.
But like I've heard her say, like, somebody, and I'm in a women's dominated field, being in real estate. Especially in residential. Once you get over to commercial, of course, there's more guys in that field. But I hear it a lot. I've heard a lot from friends in that field, and she used to lash out about it. She's like, don't tell me to slow down. Tell me you're proud of me, for doing it. And so she's a lot like that for me. It's just like, she's always like, hey, man, you're busting it. Good job.
That's awesome.
That's good to have, man. Someone that has your back for everything you're doing. Yeah. Even the circle that you have around you,
Yeah.
Like our B&I group, it's all business owners, entrepreneurs. Yeah, that helps a lot too. Because you don't feel like you're alone.
Well,
There's someone that's always there that you're able to talk to.
Well, and I mean, we met there, and of course now we've got a friendship that has led to this podcast, and the connection. There's nothing better than having entrepreneur friends. Like I said, I going through the business, I've been blessed with friends that were entrepreneurs that saw something in me, and they thought, this guy has what it takes, and my wife was a big starter in that, when I had my moving business, or when I was deciding to do a moving business in 2012, when we met, or just a little bit after I met in that area, she would speak a lot of life into me, and as a kid, parents and stuff, they didn't raise that way. It was just a lot different, and so I would punish myself a lot until my wife came around. She'd call me captain or general, or big names, and I'd be like, oh, I was like, maybe you're right.
Maybe you are right.
Maybe you are right.
Standing there with the cape and everything, Superman.
Yeah, exactly. And just it was that. Man, sometimes you take for granted sometimes, like, what small little words, those seeds of encouragement can do in your life. And
do you have any like mentors like in the real estate world that you reach out to and things like that?
My mentor would be Alan Adrian Ferris. He's at Keller Williams. He's actually now the team leader at Keller Williams. When I started.
Is that the guy that was telling the jokes at that event?
His dad jokes.
Yeah, that was him?
Yeah, that's Adrian.
It's funny that y'all were saying that, because I was just talking to my wife about how, like, I had said a dad joke, and I told her, I said, Adrian is the best at the dad jokes. And I said it's funny because we'll be in training and he'll give us a dad joke. And no, everybody's like sitting there looking at him, and I'm over there cracking up. Yeah, we started when I first started day one. I wouldn't say day one. I started in a team, and it was kind of that was short lived, about 3 months. At that point, he was the productivity coach is what Keller Williams calls it, and they were offering that to agents in the brokerage. And so he was there ultimately to help set goals and kind of put you down the path of how to make money as a salesperson. And so we started there, and after I dropped that team, I kind of full-time dove into the productivity coaching program, was taking courses, or not courses, but training classes Tuesdays and Thursdays all day, and then there was a little bit on Mondays, in the morning, and I was doing that every week for that first year and a half.
Is that the real estate industry? Is that hard to get started? Because I know in the roofing industry, man, it's hard. But once you get going, man, it's up from there.
I feel like, especially being in real estate, I've been able to see, like, have a bird's eye view on a lot of like things like that, and I feel like if you like something, it's gonna be hard to start. Nothing's gonna be easy to start. And especially if you want to be successful. Yeah. You've got to put in those 18 months, those 3 years. Yeah. Because truly, it's just how it works. It's just the law of the land. There's going to be a lot of people that will give you a chance in those first 3 years, but still, to start something significant, you need,
for sure.
You need those 100 podcasts. You need those 100 transactions, and so.
Most definitely, you get out what you put into it.
Right? Yeah, and so it's not hard. Yeah, I mean, hard as far as like struggle and and some sacrifice and
most definitely.
But like, you're gonna do that anywhere. You go work at Owens Corning, and wish your whole life that you had done. This, I had started my business, and then here comes it's. Well, now I'm 15 years in. Now I gotta retire. It can, and everything's. Yeah.
There's a different kind of tired.
Yeah.
It is that's what I've learned, because I catch myself sometimes like getting tired, but it's a good tired. Yeah. It's a good. You were productive, right? But it's even better when you're tired because you're building something that's yours, right? And you're in what can I do to help people, or what can I do to take my business to the next level? That's the kind of tired that I want, right?
You pick your hard.
They say. Most definitely. And so you were talking about a mentor. You said Adrian has been like a mentor for you, right?
Yeah.
I got a lot of great things to say about that guy, man. But not only that, to see him how what he's done in the industry, but to see the team y'all have over there at Keller Williams. When we went to that,
some killers.
Yes, when we went to that the award ceremony.
Yep.
First off, that was awesome to be invited there. It was great. The food was great.
Were you there?
Yeah. No, I didn't.
No, you weren't there.
I didn't make it.
Felt fancy. Everyone was like, "Oh, you had lunch at the Amarillo Club." I was like, "Yes, invite only."
We had to pay for it.
We had to pay for it, but anyways,
invite only. But we were invited.
They don't have to know that, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
No, but y'all have a killer team, and I have to give props to Keller Williams and what y'all have over there. But you being a part of that, and I really. I don't know if you have anything else, but I really want to just kind of close it out with number one, Steven, we're honored to know you and to have you as a friend.
I appreciate it.
And I'm proud of you, man, for everything you've accomplished, man.
Man, keep killing it.
Yeah,
for sure.
It sounds like you have a great support system. You have entrepreneurs, you have friends in your circle that and you're one of those for us too. So congrats on everything. I'm proud of you. I want you to end it with this. What is some advice to somebody who either wants to get into the real estate industry or just to even start their own business? What is some advice you'd give to the younger generation or even the older generation?
Okay, so on both sides, in the older generation, I feel like this is a bit of advice that anybody can do and take with them and on both sides, and it's to consistently do work. Consistently show up. Every day isn't going to be a closing day. Every day isn't going to be the payday. Mm-hmm. But there have been days that I thought that I wasn't doing anything or wasn't doing enough. Mm-hmm. And sure enough, those days paid off. I can look back on days when I was like, oh, I thought I wasn't doing anything, and here's something that I did that day paid off.
Yeah.
And so I think it's like that old cliche. You only fail when you quit. You only fail after that last time. Mm-hmm. And so keep showing up. Yeah, keep showing up. Stay consistent.
Keep showing up, keep going, staying consistent. Again, Steven, thank you for coming on here.
For sure, I appreciate you.
And to you who have been supporting Hustlers Horizon podcast, thank you again for the continued support that we've had before we even launched the first episode. We're excited that we have the second episode. For any of your real estate needs, or if you just need some encouragement, some inspiration, Steven Rosas is your guy. Get a hold of him. Steven, again, thank you for your time. This is Derek, and this is
Pedro,
and this is
Steven Rosas.
And this is another episode of Hustlers Horizon podcast, where we level up, hustle up, change the mindset, create a better us, create a better business. And we are excited to have you here every step of the way. Stay tuned for more interviews coming. And again, it's Steven Rosas, the realtor with Keller Williams here in Amarillo, Texas. Thank you guys again for the continued support. Boom.
Yo.